Okay, welcome back. So we have seen what is an industrial engineering and the evolution, roles, functions, etc. So basically, what is industrial engineering? It is mainly concerned with the design, improvement, and installation of the integrated system of men, material, and equipment, right? And we have gone through the evolution, main roles, etc. in the last class. Now we will see what is the regarding the product design process. Okay, product design process. Product design process. Product design process. So what is actually a product? What is a product? Product, it is anything or any marketable thing with some utility in it can be called as a product. Okay, so a product, it is anything that is marketable with some utility in it, either by a labor or so or through a series of automated process. So this is the product. Now, the product design. Product design. What is a product design? Or also you can say development. Product development. Product development. Product design or product development. Actually, it is a process uh, and it is a transformation of idea, need, ideas, or any requirements so ideas, needs, requirements by the customer or the marketplace into a product that satisfies these needs. So this is the product design or development. So what is a product design? It is the uh, it is the transformation of idea, needs, or requirements by the customer or the marketplace into a new product that satisfies these needs. Okay, so the process of developing new products, it will vary between companies and even between the products within the same company. So a product design process generally follows a sequence. So it follows a particular sequence. That is, you can see the sequence as first one, conception, then acceptance, then execution, next translation, and pre-production. So these are the following sequence. This is the sequence in which the product development is done or product design process. These are the sequence of product design process. So we'll see one by one. First one, conception. Okay. Conception or conception. Conception or idea generation. Idea generation. Okay. So this is the first stage or the first step, and this is the most important step of of the design activity, and this provides the basis for subsequent actions. So the subsequent actions we have seen: the acceptance, execution, translation and pre-production. So this is the conception. It is the most important step, and it provides the basis for the subsequent actions. And what happens in this stage or conception stage? What is happening? That is basically the idea generation, or basic idea is developed in this stage. So during this stage, the need of the target market. What is a target market? For every product, there will be a target market, or that product will be targeted to a specified marketing place. It will be targeting some people. So that will be the target market. And in order to analyze the need, first of all, we have to analyze what are the need of this targeted marketplace. Analyze that need, or identify the need of the target market. Then competitive products are reviewed. Competitive products. These are reviewed. That is, in that market place, or the targeted whichever marketplace or the place where we are targeting, there will be some other competitive products also. So we have to review those products in order to compete with them. Okay. So the competitive products are reviewed. Then draft specifications are defined. Draft specifications are made. Draft specifications. So our new product, regarding our new product, what are the draft specifications that will be defined in this stage? And a product concept is selected. Product concept. A concept, basic concept of the product. Our product, this is the concept. Our product is meant for this purpose, or its main aim is this. So the concept, we are defining the concept of the product. Then an economic analysis is done, and the development project is outlined. So an economic analysis, economic analysis is done. A brief economic analysis is done. There is the factors affecting the, or in terms of economics, or regarding the cash purchase, etc. amounts. So an economic analysis, whether the regarding the profit or loss, how we can make the profit, or which is the source of income, etc. This will be analyzed. So these are the steps, or the things coming under the first stage, that is conception or idea generation. Here basically an idea is generated of the product, the new product. So first of all, we see the target market, the market where it is targeted, and there we will analyze the need of the people, or the need of the target market, which all products are needed, or which all services are needed, at what quantity or at what accuracy they need this market to be done. Then competitive products, we have to see which all are the competitive products in this market, and their product quality or present condition in the market. What are their profit, or what are their negative things. So an overall review is done for the competitive products. Then the draft specifications are made for our product. Then the product concept is developed, and the economic analysis is done. Okay. So as a result of the this process, or the product conception process, certain specified information such as technical requirement, product performance, appearance requirement, etc. will be made available. Okay. So these are about the first stage, that is conception or idea generation. Next is the acceptance. 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 So in this stage, the new product viability is investigated and the draft specifications are evaluated. So new product viability, new product viability, new product viability is investigated. And draft specifications are evaluated. Okay. Now the draft specification will have to satisfy the requirements such as customer requirements, manufacturing requirements, etc. And the draft specification is then accepted. Now, after the product viability is investigated, the draft specification is evaluated in terms of customer requirement, manufacturing requirement, etc. Then the specification, the draft specification is accepted or rejected or modified based on the resources available in the organization or the feasibility studies. So the based on the resources available resources or the feasibility studies, which all feasibility studies we make, on the basis of which we will see whether the draft specification is to be accepted or rejected or modified. This is the second stage. Now the next stage is execution. Here in this stage, a working model or a prototype is made. Working model or a prototype as per the accepted specification is made. So in the previous stage, that is acceptance stage, after accepting, we accepted the specification. A particular design specification is accepted. Now in the execution stage, what happens is, after the accepted specification, according to the accepted specification, a new working model or a prototype is made. And it is often impossible to take into account all the details during the preliminary design stage. So the whole details, it will be impossible. Mainly it is impossible. So we are taking only a small prototype. We are creating a prototype. And after the completion of the working prototype, then the additional information will be given. So whether so we will check for the working of the prototype. After that, we will give the additional information. And the testing of the model is carried out to evaluate the performance of the product development or product developed. Then the testing is done on the basis of this particular model. So this is the execution phase. Next is the translation phase. Fourth one is translation. Okay, translation phase. Here, all the relevant information such as material specifications, drawings, manufacturing data and tooling requirements are finalized. And the final product design is made and approved for the actual manufacturing process. Okay, so here what happens is the all relevant informations regarding the material specification, drawing, manufacturing data, tool requirements, etc., etc. This will be finalized, and the final product design, which will be made and approved for the actual manufacturing process. So it will be moved to the actual manufacturing process after this stage, that is translation stage. Okay. Next is the last one is the pre-production. That is just before the production. Pre-production. Pre-production stage. Pre-production stage. Here, what is done is summarizing all the details of the manufacturing in the case of large scale production requirements to carry out a test, that is pilot test conducted under the real production condition. So in the real production condition, that is in the manufacturing field, in the real environment, what all things are happening, in that condition itself we are making a test, that is a pilot test. Pilot test, we call it as pilot test. We are conducting a pilot test under the real production conditions. Under the real production conditions. Real production conditions. Okay. And the new product should be tested to the customer specification with the equipment that will be used in the actual manufacturing process. So this test should be undertaken prior to the start of the main production in order to identify the any further faults or problems. So this particular test is done just prior to the start of the main production. So before this in the pre-production, that is why we are calling it as pre-production. That is just before the production, actual production, we are undergoing this particular test in order to find if there is any fault or problem is there for our current design. Now, as a result of the pre-production testing procedure, all the products, materials, equipments, labor specification, etc. should be summarized and finally approved for the commencement of the actual manufacturing process. So here, what happens is all the products, that is materials, equipments, labor specification, etc. everything should be summarized. We are summarizing everything, and finally, after approval, it is given to the manufacturing process, actual manufacturing process. So these are the 5 stages, which are the conception, acceptance, execution, translation, and pre-production. So in the first one, that is a conception, that is the idea generation, where a basic idea is generated, and it is the one of the important step of the product design process, where a basic idea is generated, or mainly the target market is identified, which are the target market, and the need is analyzed. Then the competitive products are reviewed. Then the draft product specifications are defined, and then finally the product concept is also reviewed, or an economic analysis is done based on that. Then it is moved to the acceptance stage, where the new product viability is investigated and the draft specifications are evaluated. So by the end of that acceptance stage, a particular draft specification is accepted based on any feasibility studies or the resources available in the organization. The specification is accepted or rejected or even modified. Then it is moved to execution phase, where a prototype or a working model is made based on the accepted specification. Then, after the completion of the working prototype, then additional information will be given, and Then it is moved to the next stage, that is translation, where all the relevant information such as material specification, drawing, manufacturing data, tool requirements, etc. will be finalized, and the final product design is made and approved for the next, that is the actual manufacturing process. And last one is the pre-production stage, where a pilot test is done, right? Pilot test is done or conducted under real production conditions. So on a real production environment, we are conducting the pilot test, and our new product is tested for the specifications, customer specifications, and which will be used for the actual manufacturing process. So this is just before the main production. So it is done prior to the start of the main production, mainly for identifying the further faults or problems. Upcoming problems or faults, we will be identifying this process, and then it will be after the final approval. Final approval will move to the actual manufacturing process. Okay. So these are about the product design process. Now we'll see the essential requirements. What are the essential requirements of a good product design? There is a essential requirements of a good product design. Product design. What are the essential requirements of a good product design? So what is a good product design? How we can say whether a product design is good or not? So there are certain things we will see. There is, we can say, product design. Okay, product design. Product design. Product design. Now, customer requirements. Customer requirements. Functional aspects. Functional aspects. Customer requirements, functional aspects, operational aspects, reliability, manufacturability, manufacturability, aesthetic aspect. So these are the major or essential requirements of a good product design. First one, customer requirements. Customer requirements. Then functional aspects. Then operational aspects. Manufacturability and aesthetic aspect. Okay. So these are the main essential requirements of a good product design. So we'll see one by one. First one, the customer requirements. Okay, customer requirements. Customer requirements. Customer requirement. So for a good product design, we are discussing what are the requirements of a good product design. So regarding the customer requirement, what are the, how we can see how we can say whether a product is good or product design is good on the basis of customer requirement. Yes, the product designer, he must consider the study of the requirements or study the requirements of the target customers. First of all, we said there is a target market. There is a target market, and we have to analyze which are the needs of the customer. So in that particular target marketplace, which are there is a certain need, and according to that particular need, whether our new product design can cope up with the need. So then whether the need of the customer is, or the customer requirements is satisfied, then we can say it is a good product design. So this is all depends on the need of the target market, need of target market. Okay, whether it is satisfied or not. So the designed product, our new product, that must satisfy the customer in terms of good product requirements like quality, performance, reliability, durability, etc. So this is the regarding the customer requirements. Next is the functional aspects. Okay, so there are number of functions the product has to perform. So there will be a number of functions in the product, but the intended function, whether it is achieving the intended function or not, that depends the whether it is a good product design or not. That is, if the product design is good, means the intended function will be achieved. So for example, in the case of a AC, the main purpose is, or the main function of the AC is to control the air, right? Or in order to give the cooling effect, whether it is utilizing the correct amount of energy and you giving the our required function, whether main function. So in the case of an AC, the main function is to cool or heat according to the environment. Controlling whether it is properly controlling or not. So if the AC is having or it is taking the power input or output is very good and it is looking good, well painted, every other thing is very good, but the main function, if it is not functioning, then there is no use for that. So the functional aspect, regarding the functional aspect, every product is meant for a particular purpose or a main function. There is a main or primary or secondary functions will be there. So the main function, whether it is doing that function or not, that will say whether the product is a good product design or not. Then next is the operational aspects. Next is the operational aspect, that is operational aspect. Yes. Okay. So, not only the functions, there will be some operations. So, by our product, in that product, there will be many operations occurring. So, how the operations will be then done, and how easily an operator can operate this particular product. Based on that, we can say whether the product design is good or bad. If the product can be operated easily, or if the product can be operated at any environment, then we can say it is a good product design. Or with a less skill, without much skill, the product can be used, then we can say blindly we can say it is a good product design. Otherwise, it will be a bad product design. Then next is the reliability. Reliability, that is reliability. Suppose the product, it is very good and it is working. It just worked for 2 years, and we made at the beginning of the design stage, we see that the product is meant for 10 years. The product should work for 10 years, and the product for the first 2 or 3 years it worked perfectly well, and after that what happens is it starts deteriorating and many failures occurred. Then we can say it is not at all reliable. So by reliable, so what is the reliability? Reliability means it should work for the intended time of or intended period of time. So here in this case, we say that it should work for 10 years. So for the 10 years, it should work properly. Then we can say it is working in a reliable manner, most reliable manner. The next is the manufacturability. Manufacturability. So a product must be designed in such a way that it can be produced in large quantities with ease at the minimum production cost. So utilizing the minimum production cost, large quantities can be produced. That is a manufacturability, ability to manufacture with minimum production cost. So the production department must be able to produce that product easily, quickly, in required quantities and at low production cost. So these are the things. That is, it should be made easily, can be made easily, quickly, in the required quantities, and at low production cost. Low production cost. Okay. Now, the production process must not be very complex, and it must not require the costly machines to produce the product. Okay, so in order to be, we are saying it is this is the manufacturability, that is the ability to manufacture or the easiness to manufacture. So this should not be complex. The production process should not be very complex. It should be simple, and it requires only uh, less costly machines to produce the product. So we have to reduce the cost of production by and improving the quantity we can produce much large quantities with small amount of uh, product. That means optimizing. And last one is the aesthetic aspect. Aesthetic aspect. Aesthetic aspect. So aesthetic means the look, refers to mainly the external look, whether it is looking good or not. External look. External look. This is the aesthetic. So it refers to mainly the external look good aspect of the product, and this is concerned with the molding the final shape around the basic skeleton. So there is a basic skeleton is there, and we are molding the final shape, how it looks like, whether the customer likes it by the look. So each product, if in the we have said that in the marketplace or the target place, there are many other competitive products are also available in the same price range. So customer will choose which. How will he will choose? First of all, you will see the external look also. That is also an aspect. So if something is more attractive, then people will have a tendency to get attracted to that particular product, and they will buy that product. So the external look is also very important. So the product with a good aesthetic appearance will be a good product design. So these are the main requirements, essential requirements of a good product design. So we'll see once again. So these are the essential requirements of a good product design. So what are the first one? The customer requirements. Customer requirements based on the target marketplace, wherever the marketplace, where the which is the targeted group, we are targeting some group based on their demands or their needs, whether if the needs are satisfied or the requirements are satisfied, then we can say the product design is good. Next, the functional aspect. Then customer requirements is done. Functional aspect. Regarding the functional aspect, each product is meant for a particular function. We have seen the case of an AC, where air conditioning. If the main purpose of AC is to condition the air, and if it is not done properly and some other functions are done, whether the aesthetic look is there or not, that is not a good thing. Whether the main function is done or not, that makes or bad. That is regarding the functional aspect. Then operational aspects. Many operations are coming under our product. So the use or the ease of using the operations or the operating procedures, whether it is complex or simple, based on that we can say whether the product design is good or bad. Then regarding reliability, we have seen every product is intended for some particular specified time period or time interval, and in that particular interval or time period, whether it is working good or not. Based on that, we can say the product design is good or bad. Then we see the manufacturability. Manufacturability is basically the ability to manufacture, right? Ability to manufacture. So we can see at the minimum production cost, if the products or large quantities of products can be manufactured, and that too without any complex procedure or the process, if the if it can be made, that is the large quantities are produced with small amount of cost or minimum production cost without using complex procedures and also the costly machines, removing that, then we can say it is having a good manufacturability or our product design is better. And last case was the aesthetic aspect, that is whether it is looking good or not. So based on that, we can say that the customers will have usually have a tendency to choose a good or attractive products. So this is also the one of the main aspect of the good product design. So these are all about the good product design. Now we'll move to the design function. We'll see what is a design function. Okay. So we have seen what is a design and what are the requirements of a good product design. How we can say whether a product design is good or bad, we have seen. Now what is a design function? We'll see on the function, design function. So the main characteristics of the design is its function itself. That is so what is a function? Then we will say what is a function. It is these are the behavior which is expected from the design. So from the design, what is expected, what we expect or the customer expect from a design, that is the design function. What we expect, from the design, Okay. These are the functions, and we can say there are two types of functions. That is basic function, and second is secondary functions. Simple one. That is, by the name itself we can see what is a basic function and what are the secondary functions. Basic function means the primary function or primary need of the design. Say for example an LCD projector. Case of an LCD projector. LCD projector. So what is the main function of an LCD projector? Just to give the output or project the output to a screen. That is the main function. The LCD projector, we are using this LCD projector to project the image or video, whatever may be the output, we are projecting to a particular screen or wall, whatever may be, we are projecting it. So we can say the basic function. Basic function is the primary function or the main function which is it is intended to do. So in the case of LCD projector, the basic function is to project the image. That will be the image. Project the image on the screen or project the output on the screen. This is the basic function. Now, in order to achieve this function, or there are some other byproducts of this function that we'll see. These are termed as the secondary functions. This comes under the secondary functions. There are two types. That is, first one, required secondary functions. Required secondary functions. Required secondary functions. And the other one is unwanted secondary functions. Unwanted secondary functions. So what is the required secondary function and unwanted secondary function? So we know the secondary function is secondary. The function is secondary, not the basic function. So what is the required secondary and unwanted? That we will see by explaining about the case of LCD projector itself. In the LCD projector itself, there are some energy conversions. That is, we are giving the electrical energy. That electrical energy is turned using this electrical energy. Some motors will be rotating to cooling, for cooling, and then the electrical energy is converted to light energy, or the signal from the computer is given to the what you call the projector, and something will be happening over there, and which will create the output. At last, the output is generated by producing the rays, and it is projected to the final thing. So here there are other many secondary functions are there coming. That is, first one we said the energy conversion, then generation of light, etc., etc. These all are the secondary. That is the required secondary. That means these are mainly required. Power is required. Energy conversion is required. Generation of the light is required. Then only the basic function will occur. But this is not our purpose. This is the back end of this working. But this is essential. That's why we are saying that required secondary procedures. Functions. Now, so we can see what are the unwanted secondary functions. That is, during this process, many heat is produced, heat is generated, sometimes noise is generated. These things we don't want. If it is losing or if it is minimizing, then it will be better. So as a whole, these are the design functions. So design functions are mainly classified into two, that is basic function and secondary functions. The basic function is primarily intended to, or the primary aim of the design, and the secondary function, it is classified into two, that is required secondary function and unwanted secondary function. And the required secondary function we have seen in the case of LCD projector, this supports the basic function. That is, in case of LCD projector, the power generation, then what do you call the generation of light, etc. And the unwanted secondary conditions means those functions we are not required, but it will come as a byproduct. That is the noise generation, heat generation, etc., etc., etc. So these are about the design function. So the rest we'll see in the next class. Okay, so tomorrow you will be having a assignment test or the module test 1 based on these topics till covered. So there will be provision for uploading the answer sheets on the on Linways. You can make use of that. Okay, thank you.